Hello, hello. All right. So I'm attempting to stream across multiple platforms here and to be more effective, but I wanted to let you in on what's going on in my own mind and heart as I'm birthing this next round of me. And I'm sharing with you because many of you are also on this path of transformation and rebirth and leveling up your standard, your identity. And yeah, for some of you, knowing how the people in your life are processing. If you're like me, I love knowing, like, how are you processing these choices and these movements? So I wanted to let you in on sort of this big aha. So when I was 20 years old, I had my first son, Josiah Daniel Spencer. And I got pregnant with him when I was 19. His dad and I were married at 19. And about 5 months in, I learned about a book called Supernatural Childbirth. And, at that time, I was so afraid of the pain of childbirth and all of the scenes that I saw that I got really, really on it about, making sure I could do whatever I could to have the best childbirth. And this book shared an interesting insight. And, whatever your faith, I'm just going to tell this story and then relate it to how I'm using and have realized these same principles can be applied in birthing a business, in birthing, your next level of adventure or vision that you have for yourself. And do leave comments if you can hear me, because I don't know if they're going to show up here or I'm going to need to watch them in the replay. Ideally, they would show up in the chat, but I'm not, let's see the stream. I'm not positive if they are showing up yet. I do see. So basically, what happened is this book that I read shared that pain in childbirth was part of the curse of Adam and Eve. And just hang with me, even if this is not your jam, because the principles of faith apply regardless. And that through believing in Christ, we're redeemed from all the curses. And there were a lot of scriptures that went with that, like by his stripes, I'm healed, and all these different scriptures. And so the premise of the book was that childbirth is actually very, very natural. And that birthing a child, when you see cows or a cat or a dog, that they're not, and most of the time they're not in this terrible pain, that it's very natural. And that as women, our bodies were meant to do it and know how to do it. And so I hooked into both of these beliefs. And what I did is create these index cards on a flip chart with all of these prayers over my body, like trusting that God had designed me for childbirth and that it could be natural and easy. I also went to the doctor. I was getting regular checkups. Look at that hair. I was getting regular checkups and doing all of the things, making sure that everything was clear. But I was praying that my body would get the signals and that the hormones would be aligned, that I wouldn't have stretch marks. I prayed over every organ, the feeling of trust, of laughter, of love, even that I would have the birthing room in Greenville, Texas. That's where I was living. And at the time, they only had one birthing room. And if you did not get that birthing room, it meant that you labored in one room, then they moved you to another room, then they moved you to another room. And so I prayed that I would get that room. And what ended up happening is I did. It was Christmas Eve, and I started getting these light contractions and just trusting the process and continuing to pray. I listened to these prayers all day, like hours and hours again. I recorded them and I would listen to them when I was cleaning, cooking, doing things in the house. I listened to them for hours and hours every day. And so I get to the hospital and get the birthing room. And right after me, someone else comes in and asks for it. And then I basically relax and take a nap. My water broke. And then my son was born without any anesthesia. 2 hours later, the lights were dim. I was listening to worship music. I was laughing, and his dad's tears were falling on my chest. And I was saying, wow, this is amazing. And I just had I loved being pregnant. I had the most magical experience. And it took some things. And I'm going to break those things down over the next few days so that these can be short, but because I'm looking to take this level of faith into my own life and to apply the principles that I applied at a whole new level. A lot of them I'm applying now, but not to the same rigor. So I'll tell you the first thing is first, I had to have a vision. And that's common with what do you want? And really having a vision of what's possible. And a lot of times that means looking at, what we see that someone else has done that is really calling to us or inspiring. You've all done, many of you have done the vision work. Like, what's next for you? What's going to light you up? Is it a level of contribution? Is it, and I'd love to know in the chat what's possible. If you've already got a vision that you're going for to 10x your business, to move to an off-grid place in Hawaii, like my friend Jody, like what is it that you're wanting to create? More love and connection in your family, where you just feel so close and connected and you're vacationing together. Like, what is that vision? And then believing that if that vision is there, that it's what you're designed for. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna really lean in on today. And this principle, that trusting, that just like I had to trust, I've heard it said, Danny Johnson was the first person I heard say this, that, if you take a bird and wrap their wings up, they're going to have this desire to stretch the wings. And the reason they have that desire is because it's what they're designed for. It doesn't matter if you train them all day long. They are going to, to be something else. It's a proof of what they're designed for. And the dreams and the desires in your heart, what you're wanting and longing for, it's evidence of what you specifically have been designed for. So the first part is the vision, but then trusting, just like I had to trust that my body was designed to birth, that I was designed for it, that it knew how to do it. Even if I didn't logically know how to do it, that I could trust that my baby, my body, the signals inside, that birth was going to happen, and that I knew how to do it, even if I didn't know how to do it, and that God had designed me for that. It's leaning in today, that trust that those desires and those visions that you're having, that you're absolutely designed for them, which means you know how to do them in life. Maybe you've got to go get some skills. Maybe you've got to reach out to certain things, but there's something innately, deeply inside of you that knows how to interact. And even the universe, God, the world around you will show up, and the things will unfold if you're in action. Right? If you're in inspired action, aligning with that vision and aligning with the design, you can surrender to that and know that it's working out for you, that it's absolutely going to be birth in you. So standing in that promise, putting the vision down, holding it, nurturing it, loving it up, and then going, okay, and I trust myself, I trust God, I trust the design, and I align with that design, and I absolutely feed it. I'm going to give one more part of that. And then once you lay it out, write it out, some of you need to put it in pictures so that you can see it. I love to listen to it and remind myself I've been designed for this, and I align with the design, and it is happening. It is birthing around me, and I watch and I trust, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs or people, looking to create something, we go and take the action. We apply the techniques. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I found myself really controlling it and wanting to get it so right, and really afraid that it wasn't, just like I've got to micromanage every single little detail. Now, excellence in your action, powerful, important. Do your best, 100%. I was doing my best to condition my mind, to condition my trust, to take care of my body, to exercise, to stay educated and go to the doctor and things like that. But then relaxing into the surrender that you've got this, that it's unfolding, that it's only a matter of time, that if you just keep going and you just keep holding that vision, you just do something else, the right people, the right information, the right opportunities are absolutely unfolding. That brings this air of like surrendered trust, so that you're actually in openness and in that manifestation space or that flow zone of knowing the inklings, just like my body would communicate. And the baby was communicating, sending hormones to me, and I was sending things back so that the birthing process could begin. And the time, that you're going to get signals and inklings. I need to take this class. I need to go there. I need to say yes to this, no to that. And you can trust that, right? Okay. So let me know if this is inspiring or helping you in any way as you are aligning with your own design. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about protecting the vision. All right. So we'll keep this going, and lots of love. I'm going to look at how to end this.